Mhm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Today, for the Marvel Plus channel, this is episode 8, Marvel's Marvel Talk of WandaVision, and titled the Previously On. Today, I'm with my co host, Will.
Hey, how you doing, Andres?
Pretty good so far. And wow, one more episode, and we're done.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think this episode um got us to like answer certain things that we need to know before the series ends, and
Right.
and there's certain ones that we have yet answer, which we're gonna get in the final episode. So overall thoughts, what do you think about this episode, Will?
I really liked that it was more like character driven. Um,
Yes, I
I,
agree.
I just I really liked diving into Wanda's like psyche. Um, I feel like the MCU as a whole like misses a lot of character moments, especially for characters like Scarlet Witch and Vision who
Mhm.
don't get as much screen time as the people that are like headlining their own movie series.
Yes.
Um, so I think this episode was like the perfect um, showcase for what these Disney Plus series could be because it really like delved into the character and kind of gave them more depth than they had previously.
Yeah, I totally agreed. And like it gave Wanda and Vision personalities we never seen before in the movies. Just like we just saw like bits of it, but like not fully, like in
Right.
this series, right? And and um and I kind of like how we got into more detail about the stuff that we learned about Wanda's history.
Mhm.
It was kind of cool to see the early experiment that she and her brother went through in Hydra. So it was kind of cool here, just seeing her, not
Yeah.
the brother, but like it was cool to see that. And it was intriguing. I love how they tie up the whole sitcom thing with her. Like it's actually personal, and that's like something I never expected before. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, I was so happy about Agnes in this episode.
Uh,
Yeah. Uh, and it just getting confirmed that she's the main villain, and obviously when we get to towards the end, it was kind of cool to hear the name finally for
right.
Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch.
After she was introduced almost 6 years ago.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know. It's crazy. So, I okay. Let's. There was a lot going on with this, especially Wanda. And where do you want to go to talk about Will? Because there was just like, you want to get into Amphix a little bit, and like,
Yeah. Let's talk about
yeah,
Agatha.
yeah. So after the finally we got, we all knew, I mean, it wasn't not like they did. I mean, I was happy they didn't hide it. I like
Yeah.
how they tease us, and I like how I was not expecting about the opening of the Salem witch trials of the
Mhm.
of this opening uh episode, and I love how the logo of Mono Studios changed to purple to represent her, hex power. That
Yeah.
was so cool, and I think that really show you how like it's showing you like her origin and how she became. So
Hmm.
um and then show how she got the was it the her mom's necklace or like
Yeah.
I,
That pendant that she's been wearing the whole series.
yeah,
It
I
was
that was a
from her mom.
nice,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a neat detail. And by the way, I was shocked about how like I was expecting was it like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or like Charm or any like fantasy scene like corpses like when the
Right. Yeah.
witches sort of like it's almost like life force. I don't know,
Uh-huh.
you see that movie like where like the whole people's energy gets sucked up and like they're like just like skeleton like. I was
Hmm.
shocked that they actually did it in this show and the MCU. Um,
Yeah.
um, So, anything you want to bring up with the opening scene?
Um, I don't know. They were like trying her for using like some kind of dark magic. I kind of wish they would go into that a little bit more, like what she
Mm,
did.
yeah,
Um,
I, it, I think, like, I think it's kind of interesting. We talk about like before, like the gray area that this show is doing,
mhm.
and I kind of like they did that with Africa because it seemed like she didn't know how to control her power, and then they're punish her for something that she wasn't able to do, like you know,
Mm.
to
Yeah,
contain it, and
yeah. I was under the impression that she was like pretending to um,
oh
not be able to control it or like not understand it.
yeah,
Um, but it was ambiguous though. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
um, yeah. We still don't know what's her end game. I'm
yeah,
trying. Like, we know she wants something from Scarlet Witch.
right. And I still think it involves the kids.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
I
I'm just
I'm just I'm having doubts about that because of the way she really like I don't know like strong arm Scarlet Witch and like I have a feeling like she's using the children, like she's the one projecting the children, not Wanda, like how she did in the comics. I think that could happen.
mm, it's
Like
possible.
yeah, because the thing is with like how that's supported is because Attica has more experience with her powers. Like when we cut back to the final scene of episode 7 where Wanda is in the basement
Hmm.
and like she just has this monologue of how, oh, you're not the only witch in this universe, and
Right.
like she's just like showing her their powers and like like showing her those like symbols on the up the roof.
Yeah, the runes. Yeah.
Yeah, and like for me I mean, of course it could be Wanda's, like she created the children as well because like her like it was like I was surprised she created Vision,
Mhm.
out of the bloom.
Yeah.
And, and and so like yeah, there's just a lot of things they didn't confirm yet, and that's like a little tough to talk about.
Hmm.
So but yeah, I think well we didn't have Monica here in this episode either, so
Right. Yeah, it
I
was entirely um, within the hex.
uh yeah, I would say it was kind of funny to see a rabbit eating um
A
a,
cicada.
yeah, it's okay. It was pretty gnarly and cute, I would say. I want that funny. Anyway,
Okay.
so okay, let's get into like the first like how I say um like
Flashback.
visiting. Huh? Oh, sorry.
Flashback. The
Yeah,
first.
flashback.
Okay.
Yeah, and we go first as we got before in Age of Ultron how Wanda and like Pedro were like hit by a rocket
Yeah.
of the Stark Enterprise. We see it here in this episode, and that was very cool. And like it was very cool to see the parents. Like it was interesting seeing like the sitcoms was the thing that like reminded her about her happy life before tragedy happens to her.
Yeah.
Like what do you think, Will, about that
Um,
detail?
yeah, I liked that as a kid, sitcoms were like an escape from the civil war that was happening around her,
Yeah,
and that she like continued to use that as a coping mechanism, like
yeah,
as tragedies kept happening to her. Um, I thought it like really gave a reason for like the show to exist. Um, I think it was a really nice touch, and it adds a lot of depth to the story that's been unfolding throughout the series.
yeah. And I like how we still keep showing the sitcom thing as important to her throughout
Hmm.
the flashbacks we get. It's not contained to this one flashback.
Right, she's
And
watching it in all
yeah, and different areas of the
Yeah.
sitcoms.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting because this first flashback had the Drew Carey show that was in black and white.
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, thank you. Oh dear, that's going to 90s there. um, yeah. So we got the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then in the second flashback with Hydra, we got I think the Brady Bunch. If
Yeah, I think it was the Brady Bunch.
yeah, because I don't know that one kid in the Brady Bunch doesn't like her older sister, just getting her attention. Um, what's her name? Not Marshall.
I've never seen the Brady Bunch before.
Really?
Yeah.
You never seen the Brady Bunch?
No, yeah. I don't know how, but
Have you seen the movies? You have to see the movies.
I haven't. But yeah, no, it's definitely something I'd be interested in watching.
Uh,
Just because it's like classic pop culture.
yeah. I'm trying. I think. Okay, it should be Jane or Cindy. It's one of
Okay.
those. That was the little kid. Um, but yeah, and then the last one we saw with the Avengers compound, where Vision, I kind of like how the Avengers one flashback was like the one he kind of like walked through the walls, as we mentioned before. Like in Civil War, she say we talked about this. Don't,
Right.
yeah, I love they paid that off. That was so wonderful. She was watching. What's
Malcolm in the
that?
Middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And oh my God, yeah. Well, yeah, it's because my favorite line is Vision. Like, is it funny because he was getting hurt, and then and I love the response from Wanda, like, no, it's not real. He's not really hurt, and and I just, oh my God, that was one of my favorite moments of this episode. And just showing like um the gap that we didn't see them develop as a couple, and that
Yeah.
was the thing I appreciate about that flashback.
Yeah. You could really see them like developing feelings for each other.
Yes. And then let's kind of now we jump to that, but let's go back to like the Hydra flashback,
Yeah.
because I want to get to your opinion, Will. Like, are they retconning Scarlet Witch's origin? Like is she like a witch, or she's going to be a mutant? Like, I'm curious about your opinion, because
Um.
because that flashback confirmed, not like it confirmed that it's going to be a change in her origin story.
Yeah. It seemed like they were saying that she already had power, and then the Mind Stone just kind of amplified it.
Mm, yes. Okay. Um, that's interesting. And how the heck Quicksilver enhanced his powers? Oh God.
Yeah.
I
I it could be that they're mutants. It's too early to
Yeah.
tell, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree. It's I hate about this with the cinematic universe. It's like I want the mutants already, so we can get that over with. And like
yeah.
it's like
As long as they like, um, I don't know. I don't want them to rush it. I don't want them to like
no,
clumsily do it. So if
no.
they're like taking their time to do it right, that's fine.
Hmm. Like, I don't know. It's tough for me. Like, for me, I want them to do it creatively. If like my mind is just introduce retcon Wanda to be a mutant, and then have one of these characters that are not mutants in the comic books make them mutants. Like, a good example of that for me is Kamala Khan for Miss
Right.
Marvel,
Yeah.
because in the comics she's the Inhuman,
Right.
and
And hopefully we aren't referencing the Inhuman show.
no,
So.
folks, that's just in the comics. We're not messing the show.
No, I just like hopefully the MCU won't acknowledge it.
No,
Although Inhumans were also in Agents of Shield.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. So
I
it, we'll see if they treat Agents of Shield as canon. I have a feeling they won't.
um I hope they give Daredevil a knowledge in Spider-Man 3
Yeah,
this December. That's the thing.
we'll
It's like
see.
and the thing about this show had Evan Pierce, and like they opened the door of that.
Yeah,
That's like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like kind of tough for me and you and everyone to like, okay, what's
yeah,
it's it's all speculation, right?
right.
So I mean, so it could be either a mutant, but like, it could be that, as you say before, Will, like it's okay. She has already like a source of power already. It's just that the Mind Stone, like you were saying, amplify it. And so, and honestly, towards the end, when Attica, say, like chaos magic, and then and her, saying the you are the Scarlet Witch, it's interesting. It's almost like she's like the Phoenix, and like she,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It does remind me a lot of the Phoenix Force.
yeah. So it's kind of, I mean, and that's the thing. They're diluting a little bit of the X-Men, and I mean, like subtly, not obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, but yeah, it was very interesting. See that, uh, and then what else? And then I guess the last flashback we saw was her visiting the sword department. What do you think about that?
I thought it was a great reveal that she didn't actually steal Vision and that she didn't attack anyone, but that
Yeah,
Hayward had used that footage to like manipulate everyone into thinking that she had.
yeah.
Um,
That was the big twist
yeah,
of the show. Yeah, I was surprised about that. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that Hayward is like he's like the main villain stringing this along with.
I think he wanted Wanda to resurrect Vision
Mm, okay.
because like he really wants Vision to be that like perfect sentient weapon, and he's the one that put the idea in her head. Like she just came there to bury him, and he was like, "Are you sure you aren't here to bring him back to life?"
Yeah.
Um, I think that's the reason he like allowed her to see Vision.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting. I There's a lot about that last flashback that
mhm.
like totally like switch like what we were thinking or perceived that we thought that it was they were going to, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
And I really like that. I really like that they like did like a switcheroo and like show, oh, no, this is not how it actually happened. I like that.
mhm.
um I mean, and I also like how, I mean, like it it kind of show more of like Hayward, like what happened with Endgame, and like how mentally had affected some people that like were not blip. And so I'm curious why Hayward is doing this, and what he's gaining at to make this new version of Vision as a weapon, and like, is it to combat the next you know Thanos, or what is it? I'm
Mhm.
curious about his motivation moving
Yeah,
forward. And uh yeah, then she walks to her car and drive to Westfield, and and it was kind of cool. I don't know, you noticed the little reference of Exosular uh, in her plate. I don't know, you saw
no,
that?
I didn't register that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it, yeah, that was really cool. I love that reference. Actually, speaking of um, reference, uh, I mean, we mentioned before the Silent Witch trials. We mentioned that was pretty cool,
Hmm.
and and then what else we got here? Uh, the part it really hex. I'm thinking. when it was Loki, of course we saw again Loki's scepter
Hmm.
from the Avengers, and then the Scarlet Witch, like full on helmet and costume, when Wanda
Yeah.
had that vision, that was really cool and interesting.
Hmm.
So like again, like doing that kind of Dark Phoenix kind of vibe
Yeah.
to Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. I
Um,
wonder what that was about. Like,
yeah. Um, like I mean, because Agnes, like Africa, you know, finally figures out why Wanda is so powerful. Because she mentions because she wields the chaos magic.
right.
Okay, and then I'm looking at this information. It's associated with the older god named Chintan, and then it's used to rule the earth until he was banished. So industry, and he's kind of like a forgotten earth sorcerers and stuff like that. And yeah, and the Doctor Strange initially believed the chaos magic just a figment of Wanda's imagination. Hmm, interesting. So yeah, and then of course the Scarlet Witch name was a big deal, and if you know her name, I mean, if you should know her name in the comics, Scarlet Witch.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, so that last flashback was very interesting. I love how like they were showing us like the people that were in Westwood and the ones we didn't see, particularly Dottie we didn't see in that um
Yep.
yeah pre reality sitcom. And then it was just interesting that she has this map to go to this one location.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that? Like,
Well, there was a note on the map uh, that said like a place to grow up or to grow old in, and
yes,
it was signed with a V. So it looks like Vision bought them a house to like build together,
yeah,
which
I,
is just extra tragic.
I know. Why?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And you're thinking it's not like after doing that, like tricking her with that note.
Yeah.
Cause what do you think? It's not after that tricking her to go to that location?
Could be.
Mm, okay.
Um,
Um,
although it seems like Agatha like wasn't aware of, or she was aware of Wanda beforehand, but she wasn't like
mm,
actively seeking her until after she created the hex, because she said something about wanting to figure out, or like her whole thing was like wanting to figure out how Wanda cast so many spells at the same time and how she was keeping them all active.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so I think Wanda created the hex and then Agatha showed up.
Mm, that's true. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, that was the part where I'm saying that maybe she's using the tuna as like a bait to control Wanda and like trying to find out how she's doing that and like
Yeah.
you know because she's trying to get her be more happy and instead of going to like the depression route as she's been she constantly say, oh, stop being mopey or like or dire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
um yeah, it was very interesting. And then and of course we see her do the full on hex, and it was really interesting seeing her create the house and then re like just literally creating a version of Vision out of the
Yeah.
blue. I was
Out of
like,
the like yellow mind stone energy too.
yeah, that's so. Yeah, so all of that was like, oh wow, so like this is really shocking. Um, and then after that, we cut to her going out, um, like outside, and then we see for, after she gets kind of cut out with the flashback after we see the 50s sitcom and
Hmm.
how it got all together. And then Anthika disappears, and then she hears Wanda hears the children screaming, and then we see Anthika with a full witch costume and
Right.
holding the kids and like in the neck side, and it's just wow. And then you know talking to Wanda and like her trying to calm her kids and stuff like that. It was a very intense scene, and like, oh my god, like what's she gonna do? And like, and then of course she, as you're mentioning for like how she's creating all these big magic spells and then dropping the name Scarlet Witch. Like, what do you think of that moment, Will?
I mean, it was a great reveal. It was
oh my god,
intense. I'm just excited for next week.
Oh my god, me too. And especially the mid credit scene. That I was like, I was like, okay, something's going on. So it was cool to see Attica in her full, costume and her, so I was very happy. And Catherine, the actress Catherine
Hahn, yeah.
Yeah, kind of Hannah. She was incredible in this episode, and she did a really good job of being funny and being sinister at the same time, and I love that.
Yes.
And I was worried about her. Like she voiced Olivia Octavius and the Spider-Verse, and
right, yeah,
and she was great there, and I was concerned like how they're gonna make Attica be evil, and here they just like this episode was not only Wanda but also Attica as well simultaneously, and it's like they nailed it. It was really great. And so I don't think there's no other source of villains. I feel like Attica is really the main villain,
and Hayward, yeah,
and Hayward is the like secondary antagonist of the show. So
yeah,
because I'm not like I don't know if this show is gonna just do any Doctor Strange stuff. Probably towards the end of the next episode we're gonna get on Friday maybe, but we don't know. So we cut to the episode, and then we get to the mid-credit scene. And well, what do you think about the mid-credit scene?
That was a cool reveal. Oh man, having Wanda have to fight the like white Vision is gonna be just rough emotionally.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Messed up.
I'm kind of hoping that the like energy version of Vision that's in the Hex right now will be able to like enter Vision's old body and be resurrected. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, Darcy can maybe help and say you can like morph into one, and that could be interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious. And he looked great in the White Vision. Like,
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and like his hand was like very real, and it was creepy. Like, oh man, he reminded me of like iRobot with Sunny.
Yeah.
It was like really like AI, artificial intelligence level. If you get that reference, folks, AI, artificial intelligence movie by Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Another creepy movie, but I also love. Anyway, yeah, and I never thought about like Hayward was like two steps ahead or like one step ahead of everyone. Like he knew probably the stuff that gets affected by the hex will be energized, and like he just had the perfect moment, and it's like I don't know, like it's just crazy. And I'm curious, like I'm curious what's gonna happen towards the end of the series. Like, you think we're gonna see? Okay, first off, are we gonna see any major surprises? We're gonna see, like, you think Doctor Strange, or
I know that Paul Bettany has been talking about. There's an actor in the show
yes,
that he was really excited to work with, and it isn't anyone we've seen yet. So
okay,
there is someone coming up.
yes, okay.
I have no clue who it would be though.
I know, like, okay, so we can just take off Benedict Cumberbatch because he worked for him in Infinity War, right? I mean, not in the same scene, but like,
right? Yeah.
I mean, it could be that, right? Because he hasn't had a chance to work with him, and so
Could
that
be.
could, a crazy idea I have is Magneto. It could be it could be. I'm trying to figure out, is it the older Ian McKellen or the younger Michael
Michael
Fassbender?
Fassbender.
Yes. And if they do that, I will scream out of my tongue. They bring those two into this universe, and I'll be so happy.
Mhm.
I'm a big X-Men fan, and I like those actors as Magneto, and I
Yeah,
think
they're
that
very good.
and that will confirm our theories that okay, they're recounting their origin stories and that they're mutants, right? And this, I mean, whatever,
Mhm.
that could be that. I I think that's really it. I don't know who else. Like, I mean, not the scrolls. That doesn't make sense. Um yeah. Or it could bring an actor is going to play the major villain for Doctor Strange, and that he's excited to see this actor be in this show, and like I don't know, that could be another possibility.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know. That's my theory. Any other theories you think of? Who's going to pop up in next
No,
episode?
I have no idea.
Okay, you're just
I'm
gonna
I'm
stick.
excited to be surprised. Yeah.
That's true. All right. Well, I hopefully you could just annoy the stuff I'm saying right now because
Yeah, yeah.
I'm setting myself too high with my expectations. Uh, but hopefully it's hopefully it is a big surprise, and I'll be shocked that I got it right. I'll be just laughing out loud about that anyway. And I'm really excited to see how we're going to pick up Monica because that's another one I'm really, really excited to see again. And see her moving forward, and in Captain Marvel 2, and like what's going to be like. And so yeah, so is there anything else we had to mention besides that? um I
I think I'm good.
Okay, all right, I think we're good. We cover everything that we discussed. um any comedic lines or
I really it wasn't a comedic line, but Vision's line that like what is grief if not love persevering?
mm,
That was a great
yes,
line.
I love that line. Yeah, yeah, that's very.
Vision has a very uh, perceptive understanding of human emotion for a robot.
Yeah, but I kind of like that. He's like the
Yeah,
opposite of Spock from Star Trek.
right. Yeah.
And if they're gonna recast Spock, I think Paul Bettany should be the next actor for that. I think he could
Okay.
be a great Spock.
Yeah, I think Zachary Quinto isn't going to give it up anytime soon. But
No, no, of course not. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I totally agree. I love that line. It just shows how like it just shows it just continues to show how Vision is like more human than anyone else in
Mhm.
this universe, really. Like he's like the purest human in society, and like he's a android, and like that's very interesting. And I will say I was kind of sad to see him like in the White Vision, that's from the comics, and like him being used as a weapon. I did feel really sad to see that.
Yeah,
And I hope as well, Will, that the version of Vision in the heads can get that body and be free, and
yeah.
like I hope so. um yeah, so I think that's it. Well, this is pretty much a wrap up for episode 8 spoiler talk of WandaVision. Thank you, Will, for joining.
Yeah, thank you for
um
having me.
yeah, no problem. And no way, folks, next week we're going to talk about the series finale of WandaVision.
Oh,
And I'm very excited slash sad it's coming to the end, but we got more Marvel Disney Plus shows to discuss, in the future. So let's get excited for this series finale. I'm very excited for it. Um, and so no further ado, just hit the subscribe button and have a nice weekend, you guys. Bye.